Welcome, welcome, welcome to How to Survive and Thrive in an Impossible World with a Piano, the interactive wellbeing musical show thingy, where we invite you to get happy and get healed. My name is Christopher Lydon, and for long forgotten reasons, I'm known as the Bishop. Now, if you'll indulge me, how lively are we feeling today? Oh, there we go, already. Let's see what happens if I play you this. Yes. Yes. Excellent, very good. So we've got a lively bunch in today, that's what we like to see. There'll be a few times in the show today where we ask you to join in, so please be ready for them. And just in the nick of time, please welcome to the stage Mr. Steve Bonham.
Hello everybody. Hello.
Who is Steve? Well, Steve is my long-time musical compadre, a psychologist, vagabond, writer and adventurer, and the author of the book on which this show is based.
Copies of sale later on at the back.
It's a mad, impossible world we're living in, Steve.
It certainly is. You know, it's not just the big things that drive us over the edge, it's the little things like opening plastic packaging with your teeth that can tip us into the oblivion.
So do you find yourself being passed around a call centre only for the line to go dead just as you get through?
Each time you approach retirement age, they raise it.
Realise your doctor has been replaced by an engaged tone?
Bring your children up to be the best they can be, wave them off into the world, turn around to party with your partner and find they've moved back in.
Jet off on holiday, landing in the brand new airport, only to be put in the queue for slow-moving Brits.
Be told you've only 6 months to live, with a follow-up appointment in 2028.
Realise you can't afford to even put the lights on to read your electricity bill.
And find someone has stolen your identity and now you're wanted for 27 offences in numerous countries and for some reason, including the Vatican.
Feel the urge to build an ark midsummer as the hedgehogs swim past your upstairs window. Welcome everybody to the impossible world.
Do you know, if we are going to face up to this impossible world, we are going to have to deal with the psychological problem of the equation of doom.
The equation of doom.
The equation of doom. The equation of doom by which the demands of the situation multiplied by the unpredictability of that situation is greater than the resources we feel we have to deal with it multiplied by the negativity of our own mindset. Have you got that?
The demands and the resources, mindset, unpredictable. Oh, so you mean when there's more going on than we can cope with?
Well, yes, but this sounds a little more authoritative.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, but to be a tad less flippant, okay? We do live in strange times, don't we? The world is disenchanted with itself. It feels out of control, almost disintegrating, and us ordinary people, the ones who don't have castles on the hill, we're a bit overwhelmed by all this, and it can leave many of us feeling anxious, frustrated, lonely even.
With that, I can agree. We're living in the age of anger and anxiety, and we've all got to learn new ways of coping with things. So how is today's show going to help?
Well, that's a good question. It's going to put lead in all your pencils. It takes the latest in psychology, blends it with some ancient wisdom, and then delivers it through those timeless potions of story, song, dance and laughter, thereby engaging in a memorable, if not sticky way, the emotional and unconscious brain.
Ooh. So you say How to Survive and Thrive in an Impossible World with a Piano is going to engage our unconscious brain?
Yes, directly and indubitably.
And that's a good thing.
Well, it reaches the parts other shows may not reach.
You know, when I think of the unconscious, I think of Sigmund Freud, I think of psychoanalysis, and the libido, repressed or otherwise.
Yes.
Now, Mr. and Steve, is this show going to lead to innocent people's libidos getting involved?
Well, little afternoon delight, you mean?
Crunch, I better warn the back row.
They've gone already.
And with that in mind, on we go.
Yeah.
It's an impossible world, Steve.
It is, and fortunately, it's going to get worse.
Worse?
Yes.
Great. A nice uplifting start to the show then. How's it going to get worse?
Artificial intelligence.
Right.
It's going to change everything. Everything's going to be smart. You're going to have smart cactuses. Smart cactuses with brains the size of Einstein. And you know, a smart cactus is not going to sit around feeling prickly and waiting to get watered. No, a smart cactus is going to think for itself. Can you imagine that?
No.
Well, smart cactus is going to make plans, and the plans and the schemes of a smart cactus may not be good for us humans. It could be the revenge of the prickly bears. It all started with this, of course, a smart phone. I've got 273 apps on this phone, of which I understand 3.5. This does everything for me now. It tells me when to get up, it tells me when to go for a walk, it tells me what to eat, it tells me when to go to bed, it tells me who to go to bed with. It's taken over my life. Actually, excuse me. It's just placed all my life savings on the 330 at Compton Park. Bloody Apple. Hey, it's texting me back.
I thought you would be grateful, asshole. It's a dead cert. That's so typical of you.
It's dead, all right. I'm going to be ruined.
Well, if you're going to be like that, you can sod off.
Oh.
I'm shutting down.
No. Wow. And that will be the start. Everything's going to change. Jobs, life, phones, cactuses. We won't know what to do.
So the world is mad and impossible, and it's going to get worse.
You may as well believe so.
Our lives are going to feel out of control. What's that old prayer? God, grant me the strength to change the things I can change, the serenity to accept the things I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. St. Augustine, I believe.
I believe it was Alcoholics Anonymous.
Oh, right. I didn't realise Augustine was an alcoholic. I suppose it's a peril of the job. Now, we've got a song about these times. It rather sums up where we are, we think. It's called Nobody Told Us.
Nobody told us.
Sorry, I forgot to do something. Shit. Yeah. Would you guys help us out in this one, please? I know you're only a small bunch, but we need your help in the chorus of this one, clapping along. So it's the same rhythm as my foot's doing here on this drum. So it goes, join in, give it a go. Practice now, that's it. Make it look like you know what you're doing, like me and Steve. That's it, yes. Very good. So I will shout out when those choruses are, and that's all you've got to do. Great. Here we go.
Nobody told us we'd end up living like this. I can't help thinking somebody was taking a piss. All those promises that didn't see the light of day. I can't help thinking it's gotta be a better way.
Here we go.
It's a bad, sad world when the cheating starts. It's a mad, bad world that tears us apart. It's a long, hard day when it's understood. All the good trees got lost in the woods. You and I are fading away, waiting around for Judgment Day. You and I are afraid of the blue. Wonder what the hell we're gonna do.
And have a rest.
Somebody saw me, but nobody said a word. Nobody called it, but not nobody was heard. Everybody argues, everyone looking wrong. Nobody matters, so somebody thinks they have won.
Here we go.
It's a bad, sad world when the cheating starts. It's a mad, mad world that tears us apart.
Yes.
It's a long, hard day when it's
Keep on going.
understood. All the good trees got lost in the woods. You and I are fading away, waiting around for Judgment Day. You and I are afraid of blue. Wonder what the hell we're gonna do.
And have a rest.
Well, I've been thinking the world's quickly shrinking, all the boats are sinking, all the dudes are drinking, the swamp is falling quick, the country's falling sick. When I think of it, what else rhymes?
Here we go.
Bad, sad world where the cheating starts.
you
It's
got
a
it.
mad, mad bad sad world where the dream starts.
Yeah,
It's a bad sad world that tears us apart. It's a bad sad world where the dream starts. It's a mad, mad world that tears us apart. It's a bad sad world where the dream
Here we
starts.
go.
Mad, mad world.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Yes.
Oh, so what do we do about it then, your equation of doom? Do we sit around like bears on the ice, waiting for it to melt, dunking us into the slightly too warm sea?
That's a very personal metaphor, Bishop.
Or when you're riding a donkey on roller skates, sooner or later you're going to fall off.
A personal metaphor also.
As if we're the universal hedgehog scurrying along in front of the steadily moving road roller of destiny.
Pertinent.
So what do we do then? Surely someone somewhere can advise.
Yeah, that's the trouble. There's plenty of advice about these days, but does anybody know anything for certain? Everything's so fast-changing and unpredictable. What's the most unpredictable thing that's happened to you, Bishop?
Oh, well, I was once in an RTA, a road traffic accident. I was very nearly mown down by Our Late Majesty Queen Elizabeth. She was zooming along in her shiny new red Bentley whilst carrying a sousaphone.
The Queen was carrying a sousaphone. Do you know, I didn't even know she played.
No, I was carrying a sousaphone. The Queen was in the car. And then Prince Philip got out, told us all to fuck off rather sharply, if I recall.
Well, he would do, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. What about you? What's your most unexpected event?
I was once kidnapped by an elderly Chinese lady podiatrist in Hong Kong and threatened me with an angry parrot.
Is that a euphemism?
It might be. Do you know, back in the old days, life was difficult then, but there were a few precious certainties, you know? My mum knew, for instance, that if you were in trouble, the police would help you out. And if politicians misbehaved, they'd get fired.
It's not like that these days, is it?
It certainly isn't, but that warm, lingering, fuzzy belief that someone somewhere knows what is going on does linger, doesn't it?
You know, when I was a kid, I was used to wonder who they were.
Who's they?
Who is they?
Yeah, apart from being randomly ungrammatical, who's
They, the ones in the know.
Oh.
You know, they would say, you can eat this and you can eat that, but you can't eat that. And then a few weeks later, they would come back and tell you, you definitely can't eat that, you can't eat that, but you can eat this. And this is okay, and that is bang out of order. That's how it is. This is it.
They, the ones in the know, the advice givers, the experts. Did you hear about the karate expert? He joined the army. First time he saluted, he killed himself.
Oh dear.
You know, you don't know where you are with experts, do you?
Well, I mean, sometimes with an expert, it's enough to be labelled an expert on something, to be seen as an expert on anything.
Yes, exactly. So, David Thatcherbaum, a professor of medical engineering at the Enhanced Prosthetics at the University of Accrington, could you give me your views on the farming crisis in Tottenham?
Why, certainly, says Professor Thatcherbaum. Let me give you a hand. A hand.
That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry.
And views on the Chancellor's last statement?
Sure.
You know, it all starts at school. The one thing you learn at school is that somebody, someone, somewhere has the right answer. You see, probably for the right reasons. Schools are there to shape you to fit in. Or in the words of the government, you know, prepare you for the world of work. Whatever, they mould you.
We are moulded. To be servants, mainly, it feels like.
So the ins go in and the outs go out. But we're moulded for the wrong world. We are fax machines in the age of the internet.
Cart horses in the age of the automobile. A handwritten cheque in the age of contactless payments.
You know, the motto of my school was, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Good grief.
Bow down before the almighty rectitude of the education system. And I'm not that old, but one or two of the teachers would still come flapping in gowns like old crows, trying the shit out of me. At school, I was always torn back and forward between what I wanted to do and what I was supposed to do. What I wanted to do was be a Spitfire pilot. But they told me the war was over, and anyway, I was far too short-sighted. So then I decided I'd like to be a blacksmith. But they said, Steve, somebody like you is not safe with sharp implements. So I went to see Mr. Hertzberg. Mr. Hertzberg was the careers teacher. He gave me some forms to fill in, and then looked at them and said,
You would be best to take a job as a town and country planner.
a town and country planner. Ignoring that worthy advice, I decided I wanted to be a rock god, and therefore became an ice cream man. And it was by this route I became a psychologist.
Every word of this is true, by the way, it's not made up. Me? Well, I was destined to be a doctor. That's the family business, with noble roots here in Edinburgh, all the way back to Burke and Hare. So, relinquishing the opportunity to be a town and country planner and a doctor, we stand before you today, existing on salty porridge, sleeping in deck chairs, the living examples of not giving the correct answer.
But you know, fitting in was supposed to have its own rewards, and I guess for a while it did. But it was rather like putting on a shawl and being told to be Red Riding Hood's granny. Sooner or later, your snout's going to find you out.
So, we're stuffed then. The world is mad and impossible, there's no decent advice that we can rely upon, and we've all been brainwashed to feel helpless.
You know, there is good advice about, but you can't find what it is. What's good and what's complete bollocks.
You know, I suddenly feel as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike,
Rhubarb armchair.
a size 8 dress and a 20-stone mud
A
wrestler,
pointy thing in a very blunt world.
a beef burger at a vegan convention.
If we're going to cope with all this noise, we've got to stop thinking like servants. We've got to learn to trust ourselves again. Believe in ourselves, the whole of ourselves, and be the best that we can be. Life is a lot more than following other people's goals. It's teaching your kid to ride a bicycle. It's feeling someone's hand steady you when you stumble. It's laughing so much you cry. It's mischievously puncturing the tyre of someone else's overinflated ego. It's time we took a time out, stepped back and reclaimed the complete weirdo one-off that is me, him, and you. You know, sentiment of this next song is very much in that style. Let's not count ourselves in. Don't count ourselves in.
Now, one day when we get to tour this show to the Palladium, we'll have a full dance troupe with us and a full band. As it happens, it's just us, dear audience. Fringe theatre, and we need your help once more. We're going to do a dance together. There for Steve.
Thank you very much.
These are for me. Now, the benefits of dance and movement to well-being are well documented. Take part in as much of this as you feel able. We must thank our choreographer Svenja for putting this dance together for us. It starts with a bit called Clappy Bit and a bit called Arms, and the rest of it you'll just pick up as we go along, vibe along, like the first time you go to a spin class, or so I'm told. So, now, this is the most visually arresting part of the show, please. Now, if you've got your phones, take your phones out, take some pictures of us, and please post us on social media, HTSAT Wellbeing. Need to get some more bums on seats, clearly, so if you can help us out with that, that would be great. So, Steve, what will be best pose for people? Take some pictures. Here we go. This is us. Yes, great. And one for posterity, Steve. Here's us. And we're going to just smile this point. Smile. And one of the audience as well.
Right.
Can we get everyone in? Almost. Yes. Yeah, there we are. Very good. Great. Now, please tell all your friends about the marvellous dance workout you took part in, led by these two fine dancers who are clearly built for the ballet. Now, you ready, Steve?
Can we sit down?
Yes, let's. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, so the first bit is called Clappy Bit. It goes like this. Join in, that's it. And then Steve starts singing the second. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey DJ, go play my song. What about the food? We got it all wrong.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Back to the Clappy Bit.
Too much gotta do, bad habit. Gotta push back from the plus 9 habit. Don't count me in.
And arms again.
Don't count me in.
Good, Clappy Bit.
There's a cat over there, he's looking kind of mean. Wants me to follow him, but this is not the scene.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Clappy bit.
I'm a sick baker and a thief. I can be a doctor, that is my belief. Don't count me in.
Arms again.
Uh-huh. Don't count me
There's a
in.
new bit now, it's the chorus. So,
I
hands
was
together.
afraid I was
Pushing out.
losing
arms up.
the will to
Palms
walk
down.
away.
Looking.
Looking for a
Follow your
way to
fingers. That's
stay.
it. And then we scoop.
And let it rise.
Scoop. 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 And then a swish up. Swish up.
Put myself
Big
into
circle.
the cold.
It's cold, so a bit of a hug.
Just
Just enjoy that for a moment. Palms out.
Left the scene
Arms
of the
stretched out as
crime.
best you can. And then we
No one died.
tilt our heads. 5, 6, 7. Clap a bit.
Living on soul food and can't pay the rent. I'm gonna burn all the rest of this end.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Clap a bit.
Let me dance the solid air, let me down the dreams. Open up a little box, step into the streams.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Arms again.
Uh-huh. Don't count me in.
Clap a bit.
One thing is certain, the vessel we discovered. I don't know who I am, but I will be recovered.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Clap a bit.
Don't understand the route, I'm an evolution. Gone ahead and home to start this revolution.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Arms again.
Uh-huh. Don't count me in.
And back to the chorus. So hands in.
I was afraid I
out.
was losing
Big circle up in the
the
air.
will to
Palms
walk
down.
away.
Looking.
Looking for a way to stay.
And we scoop.
And let it rise.
Scoop. And swish up is the next one.
Got
Big swish up.
myself to the cold.
Hold. Hug.
Neath the canal of
Enjoy that.
closing time.
Palms out.
Left the scene of the
Extend your
crime.
arms as best you can. And then a tilt the head.
No one died.
And we go. 5, 6, 7. Clap a bit.
Hey DJ, you will play my song. The one about the fool who got it all wrong.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Clap a bit.
Hey DJ, you will play my song. The one about the fool who got it all wrong.
Arms.
Don't count me in.
Arms again.
Uh-huh. Don't count me in.
Arms one more time.
You gotta believe it. Don't count me in.
And a final arms. Here we go.
Don't count me in.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Stunning. Stunning, stunning work. I love it. I love it. Every time we do that, the audience astonishes me. Brilliant. Oh. Don't count me in, don't count me in. So, okay, so being serious for a moment, what do we mean by taking a time out to reclaim ourselves?
Looking at ourselves and the world in a new way.
I think we just did. There might be some photographic evidence as well, actually.
Like a new way, like not being surprised by the unexpected.
Not being surprised by the unexpected. I like that. You know, something's going to happen, you just don't know what it is yet.
Exactly. Resilient people seem to be able to accept the things they can't affect and change and embrace the things that they can. You know, they hang in there whilst others just seem to flounder.
I've got an old pal who's a hanger-inner there, Jeremy's his name.
Yeah.
Anything that goes wrong in his life, it's just character building. You know, falls down the stairs and breaks his legs. Well, it's character building. Buys a brand new car, drives it straight into the river. It's character building. Puts a tin of beans in the microwave, blows a hole in his kitchen ceiling. Character building. I swear, as they lower Jeremy into his grave, there'll be a gentle knocking on his coffin lid, and a voice will echo out, "Well, isn't this character building?" Bless him.
You know, resilient people like Jeremy are what I like to call optimistic pessimists. They're absolutely convinced if something is going to go wrong, it will do. Do you know, everybody, of all the psychology I've studied, the most I've learnt about the world is from the people I've met on my travels. And what I've learned is they keep things simple. They have unhooked themselves from anything that makes them feel helpless. And they focused on the things that they can control. And to do that, they follow a few simple rules. A few, if you like, rules of the road.
So, what are these rules for the road then?
First is, be wild. It's high time we all rewilded ourselves. Second is, be strong. Really know what you're good at and focus on that. Third is, be experimental. When you're stuck, try things out. Fourth is, travel with companions. Surround yourself with the best people you can. And the fifth is, take the first step every day until you get there.
Okay, intriguing. So, be wild or rewild yourself. What do you mean by that?
Well, what do you think of when you think of rewilding?
Every day he's asking me this question. What do I think of rewilding? Rewilding, what do I think of? Rewilding, I think of beavers. Okay? All day, every day. Beavers, rewilding, that's what I think of. Beavers.
Well, beavers are a good example of rewilding.
Yes, they are.
But putting beavers to one side for one moment.
If we must.
Rewilding is when you take an environment and the things in it and you rebalance it so it works better. And psychologically, rewilding is the same. It's learning to understand yourself better and the world you're in much better. Seeing things as they are, not as you think you are. I mean, did I tell you at the time I came across a black mamba? Second
Deadly snake in Africa, yes, a few times. I believe it was sitting in a tree.
Sitting in a tree, it was. Now, where would you look for a snake? On the ground, yeah. You'd be on the ground. So I was concentrating very hard on looking on the ground when I came across this black mamba.
Sitting right about eye height, waiting patiently to be decapitated by one of your colleagues with a well-chosen throw of their machete.
I almost think you were there. But there it was, right in front of me, and I did not see it.
So how does rewilding work then? Should I strip off, stark bollock naked and run around the forest? Get in touch with my inner caveman? Go on a paleo diet, perhaps?
This is possible. But really, rewilding is about unpicking the stories that got woven around you since you were young. You know, stories that tie you to a past that you don't want, or snare you into a future that is ridiculous.
So who is the author of these stories?
And there is the $1,000 fundamental, existential, on the dot question of life. Who have we let write our stories? And do those stories let us see ourselves and the world we're in with fierce clarity?
Just thinking, if I could get a famous author or somebody to rewrite my story, who would I get? Somebody like maybe Terry Pratchett, or maybe Ian Fleming.
Ah, the author of James Bond.
Why, certainly, Miss Moneypenny.
He's getting better at that.
I'm working on that one. With the 2 weeks at Edinburgh, I've nailed it. What about you? Who would rewrite your story?
A.A. Milne, finding myself somewhere between the forlorn depression of Eeyore and the over-exuberant ADHD of Tigger. But if we're going to write our own stories, the thing we've got to follow is that second rule: be strong. Know what we're good at. Know what we're passionate about. Know what we believe. We're not very good in Britain at that question, what are you good at? I had a few Americans in this week and they've really found that an easier question. What are you good at? I could put a man on the moon, I could put a woman on Venus, I could put a whole damn planet on Uranus. I'm rather good at sharpening pencils. I can fold a napkin. There we go. What are you good at?
Well, I mean, shrugging off my British modesty as best I can, I'm quite good at playing the piano.
You what?
I bake a mean loaf.
Bishop's Daily Bread.
And no one can tango quite like I can tango, as you might have guessed from my dancing earlier on. These are all things that make me feel good about myself.
Tango, bread, piano playing. They give you an inner core. They make you strong. Knowing that you're good at things kind of ripples out into your self-belief on everything. It's a fundamental to know what we're strong at. I felt a little brain faint.
I think you say something about strong roots, and I...
This is strong roots, yes. They give you roots. Being strong, being wild. So, be wild and be strong. And you won't get blown over.
Be wild and strong, I like that. See things as they really are, not as you think they are or how you want them to be. I wonder what stories we tell each other every day that's actually undermining ourselves. What are we seeing out there in the world that isn't really there? Wild and strong is our good place, where our best self can thrive. And I say one more thing, and it's completely gone out of my head. Oh, it's something about potential. It has the potential. Yes, that's it, got it. It has the potential to liberate us in an impossible world.
Walking along with my head on the ground, feet in the clouds. 4 days in, I'm taking my time, thinking out loud. Where are you now? Where did you go? Something wild, something strong. Something wild, something strong. Something wild, something strong. Lost in a place between the now and the then, and the way things unfold. Wondering about the things that I've seen, the stories I've told. Nothing here to make me stay. So I'll dream my dreams away. Something wild, something strong. Something wild, something strong. Something wild, something strong.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, you find yourself wild and strong. What happens next?
Well, as you said, wild and strong puts you in a good place. Makes you feel the best of yourself, but we do need a little more than that. We need to try things out.
Okay.
You know, be curious about the world. Be a bit experimental. Experiments to find out, not to prove. You know, got to be curious.
You know, people, when they say people don't like change, I don't think they're getting it right. I think they're wrong. I think people do like to explore new things, try new things out. Take food, for example. What we eat these days. Your generation would only eat things if they were brown. Any shade would do, but as long as it was brown. Occasionally a little grimly grey or green was permitted.
That was mostly true, actually.
These days, you know, all kinds of things. Anything that started its life with a heartbeat or its roots in the ground, into the mouth it goes, nom 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 nom. You know, chefs like Heston Blumenthal with his snail porridge or bacon and egg ice cream or twig salad, you know, all kinds of experimentation. All kinds of people are at it.
Yeah, but there was experimentation back then. My mother, she took food in very unexpected directions. In the age of lard and stalk SB margarine, we had olive oil. We were on holiday once and we ran out of suntan lotion. My mum reckoned she'd never seen an Italian with sunburn. Must be the olive oil. Took an entire bottle, emptied it over me, rubbed it in, a little squeeze of lemon to make it smell nice. You could say I sunbathed in vinaigrette.
Experimental for sure. I mean, did it work?
I think I've always looked rather lovely on the lettuce.
There's a challenging image for you all. Experimentation is vital to our well-being, though. It's a chance for us to discover new things. Experimentation doesn't always lead to a correct answer, if there is such a thing, but it opens our eyes and our minds. A very quick musical example, if you will. A song which I'm sure you'll all know, made most famous by Mozart, although he didn't write it, a lot of people think he wrote it. It was this old folk tune he found and he just experimented with it. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, do you know it? Okay. So let's
I've
see.
been listening to what you've
Sorry.
been saying,
Oh.
and I would like to join in now.
Right, Steve's phone's back.
Can I join in, please?
Oh, there's not much we can do about it, really, is there?
I know the words.
She knows
Here
the
we
words.
go.
All right, we're off.
1, 2,
Join in, here we go.
3, 4.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Very good.
Okay, now, Bavarian beer Keller style.
Beer
1,
Keller
2,
style.
3,
1, 2, 3. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the...
What about zooming forward to the age of jazz?
I'm one step ahead of you there.
2, 3, 4.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
And the big finish.
A big finish.
1,
2, 3, 4. How I wonder what you are.
Thank you for participating.
No, thank you.
Big hand for my iPhone!
Oh. So, a simple tune, a little bit of experimentation. You can go all kinds of places.
Do you know, but we're not going to survive and thrive with or without my bloody iPhone if we don't remember something very specific. We exist in a set of relationships. We are social animals. We are travellers with companions.
And just think of those groups of companions over the years, keep each other going through years of adversity. You know, like Sleazy, Weezy, Cheesy, Ropey, Dopey, Grumpy and Bollocks. You know, the Seven Dwarfs, whatever their names are. Or Monica, Phoebe, Rachel, Ross, Joey and Chandler, the Friends. Or how about George, David, Boris, Michael, the Bullingdon Club. Ugh.
The Bullingdon Club, what a strange group of little pixies they are. Actually, I don't think Michael was a member, but the little other three piggies were. Companions. They're the people who look after us. Do you know that word companion means the people we break bread with? Eh? Yeah. Com. It's a French. Com. With. Pa. Bread. Onion.
Oh, yeah.
Onion.
Yeah, foreign languages never were your forte, were they, Steve? Companions, they're the ones that will give you their last dollar. Companions will pick you up when you're face down in the pool. Companions, oh, there's another companion one, I can't remember what it is. What's the third companion one? I can't remember what it is. Others will trip you up and let you fall, whereas companions will step in and help you rise. Right key, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Times like these, when you don't know what to do, when even small things fall apart, the train just passes through, tired of the same old lies, the truth where to disguise again. Running along on empty in the land of plenty, feel this now or never, to take a chance whenever.
2, 3.
In times like these, when the ghosts of the night take a while to clear, till you can see the light, and all the colours run, and the tears of the morning sun, and rise over a lonely little town, like an empty guided down, that seems so sadly frayed, no hope of being saved. Together we are strong, together we can breathe, unfold from all our history, sail the 7 seas, get a little wild, become more reconciled. Together we can rise, together we can rise.
1, 2, 3.
In times like these, when the questions turn to rust. Where there once was gold, now there's only dust. The ghosts of the fall can take the time to call on you. You and I were lovers, now we're real good friends. Don't you run for cover, I'll love you till the end. Together we are strong, together we can breathe and fall from all our history. Sail the seven seas, get a little wild, become more reconciled. Together we can rise, together we can rise.
Thank you. Now, this is our big stadium sing-along number, so we'd like you to join in, please. Another couple of renditions through the chorus. Just like with the dancing earlier on, group singing is amazing for well-being purposes. And regardless of whether you think you're any good or not, it doesn't matter, just give it a go. The words are up there in the middle for you. Also, to get that stadium feeling, we'd love you to get your phones out again, please. Find the torchlight function, if you can. Torch function. It takes me forever to find it on this one. Oh, it's not working. Find your torch, light it up, arms in the air, sway along as if we're in Wembley Stadium. If you can't find your torch, just light up your screen or something like that. Okay. So, as an old friend of ours always says, enunciate and bellow. Here we go. Here we go! Together we are strong, together we can breathe and fall from all our history. Sail the seven seas, get a little wild, become more reconciled. Together we can rise, together we can rise. We'll go round again. Here we go. Together we are strong, together we can breathe and fall from all our history. Sail the seven seas, get a little wild, become more reconciled. Together we can rise, together we can rise. Last line. Together we can rise. Excellent. Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you.
Good stuff. So that's it then. In an impossible world, be wild, be strong, be experimental, travel with companions, and you can take on anything the world throws at you.
Not quite.
Right.
Not quite. Now, there's always the problem of the first step.
Right.
You know, you think, I'm going to dive into those beautiful waters, I'm going to walk out across the diving board thinking, I'm going to do a half poleaxe semicircular roll into the water. And then a voice in your head
Stop!
says, stop! We think, I'm going to go to my boss, Atlas, and I'm going to tell him, it's all to him, by the way, what I really think. You won't open the door, then a voice in your head stops.
Stop!
Stop! Or you think, it's like the time I stole an aeroplane. I was sitting on there, pulling on my parachute.
Stop! We get the picture.
The first step. The procrastination problem. It's always too far, too hard, too dangerous.
So make your first step safer, less problematic, less intimidating.
Yes, remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a trip to the toilet.
And if you're wild, strong, experimental, and travelling with companions, that first step can feel less intimidating than you first thought.
I was once walking in the Atlas Mountains with my friend Brahim. I was going up a very steep slope, and I was wheezing and gasping and sweating, and oh God, terrible state. And he looked at me with complete contempt and said,
Steve, you walk with no knowledge of physics. You take the same stride length of a slope as you do along the level, thereby doubling the effort each step takes. Take smaller steps. Ziggy-zag if you must, but don't stop.
Take smaller steps. Ziggy-zaggy if you must, but don't stop, is without doubt the finest advice I have ever received. Do you know, how we see the world determines what we find. And out there in the sea of threatfulness, opportunities will come bobbing along.
Even in the darkest of days.
For that is the magic of serendipity, the universal law of happy accidents. Do you know, if we focus on the things we can control, embrace the world, be ready, then those opportunities are ours.
The equation of doom was that Steve referred to back in Act 1, Scene 1, where uncertainty overwhelms our sense of resourcefulness. Well, we've got to redefine ourselves. Be wild, be strong, be experimental, travel with companions, and take the first step. Everybody, this has been How to Survive and Thrive in an Impossible World with a Piano. Thank you so much for taking part today and joining in so brilliantly. If you've enjoyed the show, please tell all your friends. We're here until the 19th. Scan the QR code to get access to the website, and there's more resources on there, and there's a feedback form and all kinds of stuff. If you're interested in merchandise, we've got books, we've got CDs, we've got all kinds of things. Speak to Steve afterwards, he'll sort you out. We have been Steve Bonham and the Bishop, and we say to you, get happy and get healed. And we'll see you out there on the seas of serendipity. Good night. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the Duchess would be lovers, don't you know? I'll buy you the finest silks, he said. I'll buy you rings of gold. She said, my man, don't say those words. I'll not be so easily caught. To have me, you must let me sail on the old boat that you bought. Sail the seas of serendipity if you wanna lay with me. Sail the seas of serendipity if you wanna lay with me.
Two, three, four.
Chest in the room upstairs with the rusty broken lock that no one's ever opened yet in the years since time forgot. A broken wheel will never roll, a torn sail hangs in shame, and if you never hope for more, then everything stays the same. Sail the seas of serendipity if you wanna lay with me. Gonna sail the seas of serendipity if you wanna stay with me. Gonna sail the seas of serendipity if you wanna lay with me. Sail the seas of serendipity if you wanna lay with me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for participating.